There was a faint buzz in the air, something that couldn't be quite explained, just felt. It started a week ago, deep in the heart of a quiet rural town, where nothing unusual ever happened. The locals first noticed the strange patterns in their satellite signals, repeated, rhythmic pulses, almost like an ancient song playing in a language no one could recognize. It wasn't human. David, a local radio operator, was the first to catch the signal clearly. He'd spent his entire career studying frequencies and patterns, but this was different. His equipment began glitching as the signal became stronger, each pulse sending a shiver down his spine. For hours, he tried to trace its source but couldn't find anything. No one believed him at first. He was just a crazy old man talking about aliens, they thought. But then, a larger network of similar reports started coming in from all over the world. The government's interest peaked. David, along with a team of scientists, was suddenly called in to a top-secret facility to analyze the signal further. They were told nothing about who else was involved, just that it was urgent. After days of analysis, the pattern started to make sense. This wasn't a message, it was a signal, but not for them. It was something else, something was coming. Weeks passed, and the signal grew stronger. Then, one fateful night, it stopped. Just like that, it vanished. Everyone expected a silence, a calm. But what they didn't know was that silence was far more dangerous than any signal. A new signal emerged soon after, but this one wasn't a series of pulses. It was a loud, resonating hum, unlike anything the world had ever heard. It filled the skies. The skies themselves seemed to change, warping in strange, metallic shades as if they were vibrating under an unseen force. David and his team scrambled to find an explanation, but nothing in their scientific knowledge could explain it. Then, the night sky split open, an enormous shape, shifting and bending as it hovered just above the earth. It was unlike any aircraft known to mankind. The first to encounter the craft was a small group of children playing in a meadow. They saw a massive shadow and were frozen in place as the ground trembled. The object seemed to be made of some fluid, almost like liquid metal, and its surface glowed with an ethereal light. There was no sound. No engine noise, nothing. Just an overwhelming presence. As the children slowly backed away, the craft emitted a pulse of energy, and the ground around them cracked. Panic spread quickly. News outlets broadcasted live images of the phenomenon. No one knew what it was, where it came from, or what it wanted. Governments were paralyzed with fear. It wasn't an invasion, there were no weapons, no hostile movements. It was simply there, observing. David, along with the scientific team, was selected to approach the craft. But as they neared, something strange happened. They didn't feel fear. There was no panic, no sense of danger, only a pull, like a strange calm. It wasn't human, and yet, there was an undeniable connection. David stepped forward, his breath steady as he looked into the shimmering surface of the craft. The signal they had been studying, the one that stopped and restarted, was now guiding them. But what it meant, and why they were chosen, remained a mystery. The visitor was not hostile, but its intentions were still unclear. And in the silence, David knew something bigger was coming, and they had only just scratched the surface. As weeks passed, more ships appeared across the globe. These weren't just random encounters anymore. They were deliberate. People were starting to question everything they had known about the world, about humanity's place in the universe. And then, David's team made a breakthrough. They finally decoded part of the signal, not as a language, but as a blueprint. It was a message, one of understanding. It wasn't about conquering or destroying, it was about knowledge and connection. The visitors from beyond weren't just here to observe, they were here to offer something. The team learned that the visitors had been watching humanity for centuries, subtly guiding their progress. The signal that had first appeared wasn't just an announcement, it was a test. The visitors needed to know if humanity was ready. Ready for what, though? The question haunted David and his colleagues. Was it something that would change the course of human history? Or something that could destroy them? One day, David was called to the craft itself. His heart raced as he entered the massive structure. There, within the metallic surface of the craft, he saw a room full of knowledge. Blueprints, holographic images of other worlds, civilizations, technologies beyond imagination. It was all there. The visitors didn't speak in words, but David understood. They were offering a partnership, an exchange of knowledge. But there was a catch. The visitors were running out of time. Their own world was dying, and if humanity didn't act quickly, the opportunity would be lost forever. David was torn. The knowledge could save the world, but it would change everything. The power that came with it could either uplift humanity or destroy it. It was a gamble that could go either way. David stood in the room, gazing at the images of distant stars, of civilizations that had risen and fallen, of worlds that once thrived and now lay in ruin. He realized something chilling. This was not just an offer. It was a final warning. The craft, the visitors, the knowledge, they were here to see if humanity would be the next in line to rise or fall. With this power came responsibility, and David knew the world would never be the same again. The story explores the ethical implications of humanity's readiness to handle alien technology and knowledge. It raises questions about whether humans should embrace such power, knowing it could lead to either the greatest advancements or the most destructive consequences. It emphasizes the responsibility that comes with advanced knowledge and the moral dilemma of whether humanity is ready for such a monumental shift in understanding. Additionally, the story touches on the ethics of the visitor's actions, whether it was right to offer such a decision to a species not fully prepared for the burden it carries. The ultimate message is about the choice, to embrace knowledge and responsibility or let fear and uncertainty lead the way.